$5,000, $15,000, $10,000, as much as $20,000. Viewers of this channel continue to get big grants, big free money across the board from states. States are stepping up by doing things they had never done before. Stimulus checks, stimulus rent, stimulus utilities, and even stimulus Christmas gifts. And if you thought your city, state, and county didn't have anything, think again, because guess what's happening? Private organizations, 100-year-old nonprofits are doing this as well across the board. In states that may not be doing anything for you, these private organizations are doing incredible God's work for you in providing thousands of dollars of free rent. Viewers who thought I'm a one day away from eviction are being saved by these incredible organizations who are stepping up and paying the money for you. It's important to understand that this money is available right now and ensure that you are not kept in your home during the holiday season with food and even with some Christmas gifts. In this video, I'll be going over how to get this money, where it is and what's going on. And then I'll be turning to what's going on with Congress, if anything at all. When would you get the hazard pay? When would you get all those other things? Breaking developments across the board, as one bill was introduced minutes ago, and I'll answer all your questions that you've been asking in recent hours in this incredible recording of Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE. And you know, the very first day I recorded on this channel, I made it very clear. The purpose of this channel is to get you money. It's not for me to read news articles. It's not for me to sit there and screen grab some congressional hearing and just chat about what someone looked like and during a congressional hearing. It's for me to get you money. That's my purpose. And now the purpose has really ramped up with a community page, which was relaunched last night and redesigned and made simpler. So please subscribe. Subscribe because I'm doing things that I never did before to ensure that you get money right now during the holiday season right away. I'm getting people money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. And I am not alone because the volunteers of this channel have simply understood that you need help. And people, viewers like you, have stepped forward and said, I want to help others. The community page of this channel, which is in the pinned comment to the up in the corner, community page, sends you to news.la.com/community. That was revamped last night. It now shows no less than 15 volunteers who are either on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook who can step up and help you if you can't find the stuff that I'm about to explain in this video. First, please try to look for it yourself. And then, if you can't find it, then reach out to the volunteers. And also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over what's going on with your state. What's going on with states across the board? Why has everything so quickly changed? I'll go over state stimulus checks, state rent, state stimulus rent, and stimulus utilities, and even stimulus toys. Then I'll be turning back to Congress and going over what Congress is and isn't giving you, and all that and more. It's all breaking across the board today. I'm so glad you joined me. And now let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that Congress has really done much of nothing and really should be ashamed of themselves. We sit here on a Thursday, and Nancy Pelosi has put her House of Representatives on recess. She puts them on recess having never written a single piece of paper. Nothing. They haven't even written a bill, and they're going on recess. If it makes you even more agitated, not to say that I want to do that, let me tell you what Nancy Pelosi also said today. She said, we really got to get this done. We'll be coming back into session on Monday. They'll be back from recess on Monday. And then she said, well, you know, we can work during the Christmas holidays. We've worked before. Do you think maybe it's an emergency, Nancy? She passes it off like it's so slidey and that it's not that important or urgent that you're facing eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, have no money for rent, have no money for food, have no money for utilities. Maybe we've done this before. We can do it again. Well, needless to say, that's not my focus, and that's not how I am. And I'm getting viewers money across the board. And so that's why viewers have really understood that you, me, and the volunteers, we're all universally focused, the Purple Power, on getting this money from the state and the privates because it's there now, and that we're not waiting around for Nancy. So let me focus on what this money is. First, it doesn't matter what state you're in. So I'm going to start that new for today. People have said, I'm in Ohio, I'm in Kentucky, there's nothing in my state. Not true. I'm going to explain to you why in a second. First, you want to reach out to your city hall, your county housing authority, your city housing authority, and your state housing authority. Those organizations, they ultimately usually have the rent assistance. You also want to reach out to utility companies that you have, all of them, whether it's heating or oil or water or gas, reach out to all of them. What are they doing? The words you use is, do you have any rent assistance? Do you have any utility assistance? Because I'm having problems paying my bill because of COVID. Make it as simple as that. Don't add words to it. Don't say, a complicated word that anyone over third grade educational level wouldn't understand. Make it simple. Do you have any assistance for rent? Any help with rent? I'm having problems paying my rent bill because of COVID. Very, very, very simple. And generally the answer is yes. The big ticket item is, of course, the rent. The rent is generally being paid for 3, 6, 12 months. Tyrone, $14,000 out of Massachusetts. Viewers, $20,000, $10,000, $15,000 because they got rent, because they got a lot of rent. The important thing to understand is that rent stimulus that was not there just a few days ago is now there. New York State, New York City, Houston City, San Diego County, and then all the Florida counties. Most of them are still live, I believe, like Broward County, Miami-Dade, Orange County. Then you have the utilities. Utilities literally everywhere. While St. Louis County is doing rent, the entire state of St. Louis is generally doing utilities. So that's, did I say St. Louis? That state of Missouri, county of St. Louis. Lord, I don't know if I said that or not. So that's where we are on rent. Now, when you turn to utilities, virtually every utility company is paying utility stimulus. They're virtually all paying utility stimulus. And that brings us up to the next issue, which is, okay, you looked where I just told you, and you looked for rent, and you looked for utilities, and you couldn't find them. They said nothing. And you're pretty sure you did it right. So then what? Well, you should watch Purple Power Live, and you should watch this recording as well every day, but especially Purple Power Live at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Because in that recording, I'm going to I daily go over no less than about 5 nationally 200-year-old known nonprofits that are they're nationally known. They're household names that are literally in almost every single state paying for rent, paying for utilities, or paying for food, or all of the above. So if you're in Kentucky and you looked, can't find anything, these are the organizations you want to reach out to. Mississippi is an example. I have had now 4 different organizations paying rent in Mississippi, none of which are the city or the county or the state. They're private organizations, which viewers said they got paid for in Mississippi. Rhode Island, we have had 2. Indiana, we've had 2. And so the examples keep on rolling out and out and out and out. San Bernardino County last night. I get a lot of questions about stuff here in Southern California. San Bernardino County, someone got rent from a San Bernardino County department that is a city agency for housing, got it paid, whereas someone else got it for rent, got for utilities the day before. This is all incredible, great news. When you go and you look at the numbers that I talk about for this, the big numbers are rent, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Utilities are generally $300, $500, $800, and then food is is either debit cards for food or things like that, a couple $100. And we're not done then yet. Holiday gifts. At least 2 organizations are giving holiday gifts to viewers who just can't afford any holiday gifts. So please do not think there's nothing for you. Finally, the last thing that you should really be focused on is a stimulus check from your state. Do not put the stimulus check first in your focus. I'll tell you why. Because most states aren't doing stimulus checks. There's a few that are doing them, and they're not $10,000. So even the ones that are, if there's several that are doing stimulus checks, great. But they're never more than $1,200. So why would you chase something for $1,200 when you're facing eviction and you need $5,000 or $10,000 for rent? You're going to chase the rent. Look first for the rent before you think about the stimulus check from your state. And that's the exciting news. Now, let's turn to Congress. Yeah, let's turn back to those people. Is there any stimulus grants in the CR proposals? Not really. No, there is a round of PPP that's proposed in one or two that would likely last. There's no EIDL grant. There is no SSI and SSDI. So the answer is generally no, but yesterday that changed as a new proposal came forward for a rent grant to go into the CR. Yes, a rent grant for rent money, not eviction. Oh, I'm confusing you. First, rent for rent, and then also an eviction moratorium. So there's two things. There was first an eviction moratorium to protect you from being evicted in the CR, and also one for rent money. Both of them are proposals. Neither is a bill. Neither have yet been voted upon. That's the status of those. So what would come in January? Well, Joe Biden wants to give you a lot of stuff in January. And now let me go over all those things that are coming for you in January. But before I do, remember, if you've heard anything on this channel and you're looking for it, whether it's city, county, or state, or the private organizations that are paying rent, and can't find it, after you look, go to the community channel. The community channel is linked in the video above. And the community channel has now 14 volunteers that are broken between Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You reach out to them. Remember, you reach out to them. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. If you post a comment, for example, in this video, say, can someone reach out to me? Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not post something on the platform, YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, saying, can someone reach out to me? Because what online scammers are doing are reaching out to you and saying, hey, send me a check and I'll get you invested in Bitcoin. I'll go buy you some Brooklyn Bridge if you give me a $5 check. Don't post anywhere. Please help me, contact me. You're setting yourself up to be contacted by bad people. So don't do that. You reach out to the volunteers, and the volunteers are listed on the community page. Those are the volunteers. No one else is a volunteer unless you see their name on the volunteer page. All right, so now the important thing to understand is the following. Congress is proposing to give you stuff in January, and what are those items? Let me go over them right now. First, hazard pay. $10,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say what is being proposed and what will not last if the GOP is controlled by the Senate, controls the Senate after the Georgia elections. First, hazard pay, yes, everyone would give it to you. $10,000, no, not for GOP Senate. They would give you less, probably $5,000. Lifeline grant, $50,000, sure, some grant. GOP going to give you $50,000 per person? Never. When casinos fly, yeah, this is never going to happen. EIDL grant, 2 rounds of it. One where we give you the remainder of the $10,000 grant if you didn't get it before, or give you your $10,000 grant if you applied before and they ran out of money, and then a new round for people who just never applied before. Yes, and would the Republicans give it to you? Sure, absolutely. They actually, the Republicans were behind the authorship of the EIDL, so they do support it. CDC grant. Yes and yes. It is frontline workers. Everyone wants to pay frontline workers. The amount of money in the CDC grant has never been clear. Rent grant, sure. Food grant, yes. And there you go. Finally, SSI and SSDI and Social Security and Railroad benefits, where would that land? That would be a standalone bill. And that is supported by Republicans and Democrats. Republicans for years have had standalone bills to fix Social Security. Haven't gotten them approved. Haven't been able to get them passed. And this is Joe Biden's attempt to get it done. That would be a standalone bill. And I see that passing in whether the Senate remains Republican or not. What's important to understand is that there's a lot of money out there, and you need money right now. You don't need money 5 weeks from now or 5 months from now. There will be money 5 weeks from now, 5 months from now, like SSI and SSDI, hazard pay, EIDL, all those things in January and February. And, some things will come faster than others. But you need money right now. And that's why I want you to stay focused on what's available in your city, your county, and your state. And what's important to understand is you need to find it. So ultimately, it's there. Go looking for it. And never, ever give up hope. Never say, I just can't find it, hence it doesn't exist. It does exist. Because every night on Purple Power Live, every single night, I have someone jumping in the comments says, there's nothing in Mississippi. And I always have someone say, I just got in Mississippi. And the person's just like, how did you do that? And I'm like, well, I just had 4 people from Mississippi last night get something. So don't be down on yourself because you can't find it. Frustration never blocks a person. It's positivity. And with that, stay positive, stay motivated, stay focused. Coming up next is Being a Mitch. And on that video, I answer your questions about UI and PUA and FPUC and what's happening to UI and PUA as it's about to expire or has expired in the next few days in light of the CR. I know it's going to get very, very complicated down to the very last day in which is about to expire or has expired. So I'll answer your questions live on that recording. That's Being a Mitch live coming up right after this recording, and bring all your questions about unemployment, PUA, UI, and escalated benefits for UI, and retroactive benefits for FPUC. Meantime, join me tonight on Evening's Check, which is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Evening Check is going to be the big recording because it's going to have all the updates on whether Mitch got an extension or not, what's going on with Congress, and I'll have all those details across the board, followed by Purple Power Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay in LA for more.